So I just got done watching Evil Dead Burn, and this is the sixth and latest entry in the Evil Dead franchise, and this is a franchise with no bad entries at all up until this point. Well, what's the story of this movie? Well, this movie follows a family after a tragic death, then deadites happen, and that's all I'm gonna give away. And when I say up until this point, I don't mean this is a bad one. This movie is actually very good. The franchise has kept up, and this is definitely the most consistent horror franchise out there right now. Let's go ahead and get into this. So, I'm a huge Evil Dead fan, like massive Evil Dead fan. Evil Dead was one of the first, Evil Dead 2 was one of the first horror movies I ever watched whenever I was younger. And so I had pretty high expectations for this. I have enjoyed all of them in different ways, some more than others, but they're all at least above a 7 out of 10 for me. So going into this, I was quite excited. And when I left the theater, I had this experience of just, oh God, that was really good, but how did they top 2013 on the violence? Because they did. I would have never thought that 2013 would ever be topped in any Evil Dead movie when it comes to violence. I don't think this tops that as a movie, but man, it gets nasty, like extremely nasty, and it's something that I love. The main actress here, she is very good, and the movie is direct. She's French. The movie's directed by a French man, and so it feels very French, and it's very new wave, which I really enjoyed about the movie. It gives it its own identity, opposed to the other Evil Dead movies that are just some of them do try to emulate Sam Raimi's style and just don't really work. I'm talking about Rise here. But and Rise works for me, but it does try to emulate Evil Dead 2 pretty much. But this movie, it takes the concept of Evil Dead and the Deadites and the Book of the Dead, and it's like, you know what? No, we're still gonna do it, but we're also gonna try to tell a story about grieving somebody, but also what it's like to go through a insane amount of trauma. I'm not gonna say specifically what kind of trauma in this movie with our main character, but it is handled so well, in my opinion. Like, I really, really enjoyed that aspect of the movie. And what I disliked about it, it's some small things. I will say, with the trauma stuff, it could have been explored a little bit more. While I liked it, it still could have been done better. And I didn't see the second post credit scene until after I left the theater. And I won't spoil it for you, but it doesn't really make much sense, and it just feels kind of tacky. But that's just me. But besides that, no, this is a very good movie, and there's some impressive gore here, especially this scene where somebody is getting hit and it just doesn't stop. Like, it just keeps going and going and going. And yeah, our main protagonist here, she is gonna go down as Evil Dead always has great protagonists. It's great final girls. I mean, even talk about Ash. Ash is a final girl in my opinion. But this person is very good in this movie. And the rest of the family's great too. There's some really good editing here. I really like the quick cut editing. It took me a second to get used to, but I still really enjoyed it. And I really enjoy just how much this movie just it didn't hold back whatsoever. And that's good. It's good for it. Evil Dead movies are not supposed to want to hold back. So I'm happy this one didn't. I left the theater very surprised because while I was very much so looking forward to this movie, the late marketing kind of threw me off, and I was like, is this gonna be good? Yeah, this is definitely one of the better Evil Dead movies in my opinion, and that's saying a lot because I like all of them. So I will give Evil Dead Bird about an 8.5 out of 10.